for Jeff Bezos' giant. Let's bring in Scott Bauer. Let's trade the darn thing, the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. So, Scott, poised for new highs like Microsoft and Apple over the last couple months?
I don't know if we're going to get to new highs. I don't know that we're going to get back to 2000, but I look for the upside here, Oliver. I really do. And here's my rationale. You just talked about all the added CapEx that is expected here. So when the numbers first hit the tape later today, if those numbers are short, if they're light and there's any sort of sell-off, buy into it. Because once the deeper part of that is explained, that maybe much of that is due to CapEx, that's going to be a big explanation. So here's my thinking on this. You know I love to trade spreads because I always want to be risk defined. However, in Amazon, if that stock were to break, and if that stock were to get down to 1685, I want to own the stock. So I'm going to put on this option trade here, this option play that allows me to do that, that gives me no downside for getting in at 1685, but gives me a lot of upside if this thing rallies. So I'm looking to sell this week's 1685 put. I'm also looking to buy this week's 1860 call, way up above, way up above.
Okay.
I can do that for zero, a net zero, okay? If this thing sells off, if I'm wrong and this goes down below 1685, great. That's where I want to buy the stock anyway. Okay, so to me, it's a no-lose situation. Now, again, this is really important for your viewers, for your traders to understand. I'm only doing this because that's a point, a line in the sand that I want to be long the stock.
Right.
Okay, so this does have, theoretically, this does have downside risk. Obviously, if Amazon goes to 1650 or 1600, I can be a big loser. However, I'm doing this because I want to buy the stock at 1685. If we happen to get that big upside move, I can participate on the upside with that long 1860 call.
Now, I like this, Scott. This is pretty interesting because essentially what you're expressing is a confident view in Amazon, not just around the earnings where if they beat, you can take part in that, but that there's a level where it doesn't really matter what the earnings tell you. It's Amazon. You want to own it. Tell me how you sort of pick the strike that you're selling it at, though. Is that just is that looking at the chart? Is that looking at anything fundamental? Is it just, hey, this is what I've owned it at before, I'm comfortable here?
No. It's a great question. So a couple things. Number one, you guys just mentioned, and I agree, the expected move that the market's pricing in is about $65 today. So if we look at that downside, that puts you at about 1700. I'm going a little bit further than that, giving myself a little bit more room. But that 1685 level has been some really, really good support from a technical standpoint as well. So when I look at that combination of the expected move to the downside plus that technical support there, that's the reason I want to get long at that area.
Yeah. All right. So look, Amazon right now at a bit of a crucial moment with moving averages passing over each other and still far away from the highs.
Yep.
Scott, if we do get a decent number from Amazon, let's talk broad market here for a sec. Microsoft is trying to pull some weight today. Really, it's more the chips and Lam Research that are helping out this market. What do you think about tech when we've had two very different stories? One from Texas Instruments, a little bit more sort of international industrial, but now another from the chip makers and the fabricators like Lam that say, look, apparently things are okay here.
Yeah, I think we could get a changing of the guard. That sector has been so cautious over the last few weeks and months here. Even with Amazon, the trade in Amazon over the last probably 2 months has been very cautious. Anything to the upside here, I think you can get a real, I don't want to say a short squeeze because there's not a ton of short interest out there, but that mindset that has been going on in Amazon and many of the other FANGs right now is decidedly negative. This could really change the landscape.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got cloud stocks up today. Some relief for the group. To your point on the back of Microsoft numbers. Scott, we will see you soon, Mr. Bauer. As always, thanks a lot. Scott is the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy down at the CBO. We'll be right back.